Why the hell is Zachary Gulini on my YouTube feed, posts, shorts, etc., asking me for money from 20 different accounts? So I came across this post of Zach on my feed while looking for GTA 6 Netflix drama videos, and he looked like he'd seen better days, was given a bunch of money in a donation that didn't work, and so he asked people to donate to his PayPal instead. So I wanted to learn more about Zach and his struggles, and so I searched him up, and that's when things started to get really weird. I found another Zachary Gulini channel, and another one, and another one, and it wasn't just that they all had the same name. These were the same guy, same face, same hospital footage, same general story, and a whole bunch of them were asking me to donate money. So naturally, I started clicking and just kind of exploring around, and the more I clicked, the more I realized this wasn't just one weird channel, but they were all doing essentially the same thing. Take this guy's story, turn it into a short, ask for money, and do that again and again and again. And this is where I started to realize just how much of this there actually was, because some of these channels have thousands of subscribers, hundreds of videos, and millions of views. One had over 400 shorts posted in the last 3 months, and another had nearly 500. And these aren't even particularly elaborate videos. You just see Zach's face, usually some footage of him in a hospital or being cared for, some sad music, and a caption explaining that he's sick, and then a request to donate. And at one point when searching around for Zach's channels, I had so many of these open that I just put 8 of them next to each other on a screen. Watching them all roll together was kind of surreal. The exact same person, the exact same general story, and in some cases, seemingly the exact same footage just being pumped out over and over again. This is when I started thinking to myself, like, what the hell is happening here? Because we're not talking about somebody uploading a couple of videos or having a couple of different channels to raise awareness for a sick family member. We are talking about hundreds of these shorts across a bunch of different channels, and they are all flying into my algorithm, flying into the feed, and just spamming the ever-loving shit out of me. And if you're watching this thinking, okay, well, where's the scam? That's exactly what I started to kind of think about myself. At some point, I figured the obvious next step was to start clicking the donation links, and this is where things went from weird to just genuinely confusing. You would think that if all these channels are using the same person's face and asking you to help the same person out, you'd probably end up at the same fundraiser, right? And under those conditions, I think it would be less suspicious, but that's when I started clicking through the links in the descriptions, and I was getting sent to all sorts of different fundraising pages, different platforms, different campaigns, and more importantly, all of these had different names associated with them. I found a Go Get Funding campaign associated with Kevin Wilson. I found another donation link associated with Catalina Vesca and Nabukira Prasi, and I'm sitting here thinking, who are all these people? Because the YouTube video is telling me, this is Zachary Gulini, he's sick, please help him. But then I click the link underneath it, and suddenly I'm looking at a completely different person. And to be clear, that doesn't automatically mean anything nefarious is happening. There could be perfectly legitimate explanations for some of this. Maybe somebody is collecting donations on Zachary's behalf. Maybe there's some relationship that isn't immediately obvious from the fundraiser. And I want to be careful here because there's a difference between finding something weird and actually knowing what's going on. I don't know who's running these channels, and I don't know whether all of these channels are connected. I also certainly don't know whether every person attached to one of these donation links is involved in anything shady. All I really know is what I can see. And from what I can see, there are a bunch of YouTube channels using the same person's image and story, pumping out an absolutely ridiculous number of shorts that are getting dumped into my feed. And some of the donation links lead to different people and different fundraising campaigns. And honestly, my brain is just kind of wired to look at some stuff like this. I worked as an auditor for years, and so one of the first things you learn is that something that doesn't quite reconcile usually has a story behind it. And you don't just make up an explanation to find that difference, you go searching for evidence, right? And so that's exactly what I decided to do, and I wanted to find the real Zachary Gulini. This is where the rabbit hole took a pretty unexpected turn, because when I searched for Zachary Gulini outside of these YouTube channels, I actually did find a GoFundMe. And this isn't a brand new page that was created alongside all these shorts. This fundraiser dates back to 2022 and recounts injuries stretching back as far as 10 years ago. It's called Zach Gulini on His Road to Recovery, and it tells, honestly, a very heartbreaking story about a guy who already experienced a tremendous amount of medical trauma including serious spinal cord injury. And the fundraiser isn't an anonymous page either. There are actually people associated with it. There's a detailed story, there are updates, there are photographs of Zach and his family. And as of now, it has raised over $114,000 from almost 500 donations. So Zach turned out to be a real person. And honestly, that changed the way I was looking at this whole thing, because up until this point, I was mostly fascinated by the absurdity of finding hundreds of the shorts using the same guy's face in my feed. But now I realized I'm looking at an actual person who appears to have gone through some incredibly difficult shit. And I'm seeing his image and his story being recycled across a bunch of different YouTube channels that I can't independently connect him back to. Somewhere underneath all of these spammy shorts and donation links, there is a real human being suffering. And as far as I can see, that person's likeness is being taken advantage of for money. And that's incredibly sad. Whether these channels are connected or not, there's something really uncomfortable about the way this stuff works. You have a real person's face, a real person's medical story, and then that story is getting reduced down to this incredibly simple piece of content. Here's a sick guy, feel bad, click the link and give us money. And that's basically the perfect formula for the modern internet. The internet doesn't care why you stop scrolling, it just cares that you stopped. There's a huge difference between using the internet to help someone and using someone's suffering because you know it'll make people stop scrolling. And so when I see hundreds of videos doing essentially the same thing over and over again, I start wondering whether the person behind the screen even matters anymore to the people doing this. And if you found this video because you were searching for Zachary Gulini, I want to end on something a little more important than all the weirdness I just showed you. As we saw, there is an older GoFundMe page called Zach Gulini on his road to recovery that appears to be the original fundraiser I was able to find documenting his situation. I'm gonna leave that link in the description. So Zach's GoFundMe was paused for some reasons unknown to me, but it seems like his family was seeking help. I wish that with all my heart, Zach's well and recovering. It's been a few years since the last update was posted there. And I hope that whatever the hell is happening with all these YouTube channels isn't making an already difficult situation for them even worse. So yeah, I was scrolling YouTube looking for GTA 6 Netflix drama videos, and I searched this guy's name after I came across his posts in whatever associated search result that returned. And somehow I just ended up spending my evening looking through hundreds of videos, multiple fundraising pages, and a small army of Zach Gulinis spamming my account. I still don't know exactly what's going on with all that, but I figured if this stuff was showing up in my search results, there's a pretty good chance I'm not the only person seeing it. So I figured I would just put it out there in case anybody comes across a similar situation. I would like to know more about Zach. I hope he's doing well these days. He sounds like he had a bad time with whatever was going on with him. Anyway, y'all, I'm primarily a gaming channel. I don't know why I made this. It was just something that came to mind. I have video games to get back to. Hope y'all stay well, stay healthy, and I'll see you in the next video. All right, guys, peace.